Hello everyone, it is Jamarcus, and this video will be the team builder for the RQA Season 5. I'm in the Beads division, which is the second of 4 divisions, so I'm in a higher division, and I want to take this league pretty seriously. I want to do pretty good. The BHA, which I'm in a lower division, so that one's just for fun, and then PUDL is also wrapping up still. Playoffs will start in 2 weeks, which I'm guaranteed for already. So there were 14 teams in this league. I got third pick, which was pretty nice. I was guaranteed something good. And I decided to go with Darkrai. Pokemon I've never used. I've been wanting to use. It looks cool. Very good speed tier. Very great special attack. Usable physical attack. It gets Sword Stance knockoff too. So it's definitely usable on the physical side. But of course, this thing's known as a special attacker. That's how I'll be using it most weeks. But this thing looks awesome. Bad Dreams, so you don't really have an ability unless you want to run Hypnosis, but maybe I'll pick up another sleep user to have some sort of interaction there. So, we're going to name this guy RR Kid. Maybe you'll catch on to the nickname theme. It shouldn't take long. So, I'm looking at this thing. What does this thing struggle with? What kind of teammates should I get for it? So it's got great speed tier. Its bulk, it's not going to die in a neutral hit, but it's not very bulky. It struggles with fighting types, other or other dark types, and I guess bug types, but mostly other darks and fighting types. So, to help with that, I picked up Enamorous. I know I got Therian on my BHA team, but I got Incarnate on this one, which I'm excited about. Gives me a great speed tier as well. Below Darkrai, but not so far below Darkrai. Hopefully I get something in between them eventually. So, this thing, same special attack actually, is going to do similar roles. Just click high damage moves. Click Moonblast, Earth Power, Mystical Fire, Sludge Bomb for coverage. This thing's going to be great. It even gets extra sensory for like poison types that aren't weak to Earth Power. If that comes into play, I'm never clicking Spring Tide Storm. Moonblast is nearly as strong and not the big drawback of that accuracy. Weather Ball is interesting. That could always be an option. Taunt, it gets Draining Kiss if I wanted to bring Calm Mindsets. Misty Explosion, don't see myself bringing that, but there's some good moves. This thing is going to be Specs, Scarf, or Calm Mind most weeks. Cute Charm and Contrary. I could bring Physical. It's got a good physical attack with Contrary Superpower. It's play rough. I think that's about all it gets on the physical side. It also gets Agility, which could be pretty nice. If I want to make a sweeping set, could do Double Dance. I could send Headbutt too. That's cool. So this thing's doable on physical and special sides, but special is going to be the way to go most weeks, I think. Alright, so I don't have much defense. I got two pretty offensive Pokemon here. I have no hazards, I have no hazard removal. I don't have a steel type, which I want to get a good steel. So, oh, before I do that, nickname. This is a sour man, lowercase. Alright, next one is Excadrill. Hazard removal, hazards, steel type, electric immune. This thing does a lot of rolls for my team. Gives me another speed tier below, which is nice. So far, these are pretty far away, around 20 points each. But I've got a good spread of speed tiers so far. Gives me a sweeper if I pick up sand. Gives me a setup with Swords Dance, removal with Rapid Spin, strong moves, Earthquake, Iron Head, Rock Slide for coverage. That's hitting most Pokemon in the game. This thing's going to be really valuable for my team. Could be a lead with Steel Beam, Throat Chop, and X-Scissor for more niche coverage if that comes into play. But this thing is going to be really good. Horn Drill's bad, and Fissure. So can't bring that. Aerial Ace is there too for grass types. This is Dick Seller. My next Pokemon, I drafted Rotom Heat. I might be going out of draft order because I'm kind of forgetting. I drafted this team like a week ago, but I'll get all the Pokemon right, just not in the right order. So, Rotom Heat. So far, I want a better ground resist because Enamorus doesn't really want to be switching into moves. So that gives me a good ground immune. It gives me a fire resist. Gives me a better grass resist. Gives me a lot of good switches. It gives me a pivot, which so far I don't have. Gives me pain split. Gives me screens. A lot of options on this guy. Gives me nasty plot. Gives me a better fairy resist. Not better, but another one because Excadrill doesn't really want to be the only one because I knew going into this my poison type, which I think I got next, maybe the pick after, was not going to resist fairy. So that's why I wanted the fire type, a good fire type to resist fairy. This Rotom is going to be, if I can spell, Earthmoot. Alright, next up, I got Metagross. I already have a Steel type. Psychic type's not that necessary of a type in draft, so why did I draft this Pokemon? Well, I kind of tunnel visioned. I plan on keeping this thing, but I kind of tunnel visioned and I wanted a Pokemon with gravity. I think my team looks so good with gravity. Gravity Earthquakes from Excadrill, Gravity Hypnosis, perfect accuracy Focus Blasts, Blizzards, Thunders. Darkrai has a lot of high power moves that miss. So maybe I bring Gravity one week. I don't know. It's kind of a niche strategy, but I wanted the option, so I brought it. This thing gives me a priority user and Bullet Punch. It gives me a setup sweeper if I bring Agility Weakness Policy. It's just a very versatile Pokemon with some great coverage that I think will actually do a lot for the team. Even though I already have a Steel type, I think having two of them is fine. I'm a little weak to Fire now, a little weak to Ground, but hopefully we'll be fine. Gives me a Meteor Beam user. My favorite move. Will I ever bring Meteor Beam? Probably not, but who knows. Future Sight's a cool move too. Psychic Fangs to block screens. This thing having Psychic Fangs is so good for it. Doesn't need to rely on Zen Headbutt now. Excited to use Metagross. And Metagross is got Smears. Alright, the next Pokemon I drafted was Blastoise. I wanted a water type, wanted a bulky water type, wanted the pivot. It can be Shell Smash if I want, but just gives me more hazard removal. This guy ended up getting dropped during Grace, and I decided I wanted Keldeo. I dropped Keldeo in the BHA, but it's coming back here for the RQA. Gives me a speed tier between Enamorus and Darkrai. It's really close to Enam, so it's not great, but gives me another special breaker. I have three really good special breakers now, so even a Blissey's gonna get worn down over time, especially since this thing is Secret Sword, if I can spell. Secret Sword. There's really strong moves. Focus Blast, again, that could be good. And Hydro Pump on a Gravity team if I want to be safe from not missing. Gives me Flip Turn still, so I still have that pivot. It gives me a fast pivot, which is nice. Also Baton Pass if something has Water Absorb. Poison Jab. Attack stats not great. Justified, I don't really have a real ability, which is too bad. But Pain Split's cool. Calm Mind, I can bring SD, Sub. Some good options on this guy too. Vacuum Wave's really great for priority. I don't know why that's in useless moves. That's gonna be coming most weeks. It's probably my strongest priority user on this team, outside of Bullet Punch Metagross. That's not true actually. I have a Dark type with Sucker Punch, but it's strong priority nonetheless. Also really bulky. 91, 90, 90 for a Pokemon with these offensive stats is really great. It's pretty much as bulky as Blastoise with way better offensive stats and another type, which is nice. I didn't know you could click on those. Alright, Keldeo is Elkdo. Alright, what did I draft next? I drafted Dragalge next. There's my poison type that didn't resist fairy, like I was talking about. I've been wanting to use this thing for a couple leagues now. It looks really good. Grounded poison. Gives me a good dragon type, good resists, good defenses, low HP, so I mean, I'm bringing max HP every week because I'm never wanting speed. So even if I want special attack, I can bring that. Max Phys Def could be good. Max Finesse probably overkill, but depends on the matchup. Never gonna bring physical really. It gets good abilities, honestly, but adaptability is gonna be what I bring most weeks. But Poison Touch and Poison Point, probably Poison Point because I'm not bringing physical. Could be good as well. Acid Armor, I didn't even consider that. I haven't really gone through these Pokemon's options because I was drafting while I was on vacation. So I haven't looked at the moves too much, but this thing's got good moves. Haze is really nice too. Clear Smog? No Clear Smog, that's too bad. But I get Haze, Toxic T-Spikes, Dual Stab. Not much to hit Steel types, which is too bad. Thunderbolt is actually nice coverage. Icy Wind, does it get Ice Beam? No Ice Beam. But for a Pokemon that was around 10 points, I think, maybe 12, I forget. I think this thing's gonna fill a lot of roles on my team. Has a lot of good resists. Grounded Poison, T-Spikes, Absorb T-Spikes. It's gonna be really good. And this is Aldagger. Alright, my next Pokemon. I wanted another bulky water because Keldeo doesn't want to act as my bulky water. I wanted a Spiker because I don't have a single Spiker as of now. I have rocks on a couple Pokemon, but no spikes. So I wanted not Quagsire, but I wanted Gastrodon, but it got sniped. So I went with Quag. Gives me Unaware or Water Absorb, probably Unaware most weeks. It's just gonna do Quagsire things. Set up rocks, set up spikes, recover, prevent setup sweeps. Maybe counter some weeks, I don't know. Bring offensive with Focus Punches. Attack's not the worst. I've got a couple slow Pokemon back to back, which is good. So that Trick Room isn't gonna sweep me. Toxic, spread Toxic with these two could be really good. It gets T-Spikes as well, I did not know that. Okay. This thing's really good for hazards then. Body Press is an option. This thing's probably not going to come most weeks just because it's really defensive and I want to bring more offensive Pokemon like these three special breakers and support them. But Quagsire is still going to be a really valuable team member. Get some spikes up, recover, beat offensive Pokemon that are trying to set up on me. And this guy is a IQ Surge. Alright, I got two more Pokemon. I got, I think it was 10 more points. There's 15 points for Terra Captains. It's low tier Terra. Once again, I'm not getting good Terra Captains. I don't know how that always ends up being this way, but I'm not spending all my Terra points, and I'm not getting the best of Terra Captains. Besides that, though, I think I got one really good Terra Captain, and one alright one. So, the Terra Captains I wanted going into this league, I really wanted to use Chestnut. I thought it looked awesome, and then I had plans for Sneasel or Hisui Sneasel as well, just as a speed tier between Enam and Darkrai. Um, I got neither of these. Chestnut got sniped, and then I realized Sneasel's probably not a great pick. But I still wanted a grass type because my team is pretty ground weak. I have two immunes, but that's about it, and I have 3 weeks. So I wanted a grass type. Chestnut got sniped, so I went with Brute Bonnet. And this thing, in hindsight, is probably better than Chestnut for my team. It gives me, first of all, a Spore user, which I didn't draft this thing with the idea of this strategy in mind, but I get Spore and I have a Darkrai. So I can Spore something, put it to sleep, and now if that thing ever comes in on my Darkrai or my Darkrai switches in on it, it just loses 12%. It loses an eighth of its health, which puts it in range of maybe 2 Dark Pulses or something like that. So that's a really cool strategy. Will I bring it most weeks? I don't know. Probably not. But this thing also just gives me really strong priority and Sucker Punch. I can bring booster energy. Even like this Assault Vest could be good. This is my Terra Captain, so it's really terrible typing is not of big concern to me. Gets Close Combat, Seed Bomb, gets Synthesis if I want to bring a more defensive set. No Strength Sap is too bad. That would have been really cool. Stun Spores could be really good. I got Thunder Wave on a couple Pokemon. Does this guy get Thunder Wave? No. Anyways, Rotom Heat gets Thunder Wave. I think Darkrai probably gets Thunder Wave. Yeah. Darkrai also gets Wisp, which is news to me, but that's a really cool option. I have two Pokemon with Wisp now. So this Pokemon is going to be a really great Terra Captain for me. Earth Power, if I want to bring it specially, probably not. Its attack stat's so high, and Earth Power would not be doing a lot of damage. I'd rather just bring Close Combat for Steel types. Taunt, I'm pretty slow, but Taunt could still be an option for bulkier Pokemon. I get Terra Blast, which probably won't come in handy based on the Terra types that I picked, but it could definitely be cool. Bullet Seed with loaded dice for a really strong grass move. It's got some cool options. Venoshock if I go for T-Spikes. No, that's terrible. I did bring Terra Poison though. It's one of my Terra types, so it's not out of the question. Growth for if I face Sun teams. Maybe. This is like anti-Sun. Interesting. My first week matchup is Sun, so maybe I'll think about that. If you're my opponent, I'm definitely not bringing Growth. So, Terra types. I go with Dark. I gotta do a Stab Terra. So I go Dark, Stab Sucker Punch, or with Terra Boost is gonna do, I'll do a lot of damage. Crunch is also nice. It's going to be breaking down those Dark resists so that Darkrai can win late game. My next Terra type I do is Fighting. It's a decent defensive, like neutral typing for this Pokemon. Weak to Fairy again, which kind of sucks. Weak to Flying again, which kind of sucks. But it gives me a Psychic, sorry, it just gives me Rock Resist. That's about it. But Close Combat, Stab Close Combat is the big reason why I did Terra Fighting. It's just a better defensive typing than Grass Dark. It's still not great though. And that's why I want a Terra Poison for an actually good defensive typing. Gives me a Fairy resist, gives me a Fighting resist, gives me a Bug resist. It does a lot for this Pokemon. Gets Stab, Clear Smog, and Venoshock. No, it's mostly for the defensive typing. But I see myself bringing Terra Dark Sucker Punch most weeks, just for how strong that is going to be off of base 127 attack, and I can run max attack Adamant every single week. This thing's so bulky. 110, 100, 100 with Synthesis. This thing's going to be tough to kill. I can bring max HP every week because I don't really need speed, but we'll see. Depends on the matchup. Can bring AV. This thing's going to be hard to kill, and it's going to do a lot of damage. This thing with Terra is awesome. For having traded this late actually, because I think I picked Hisui and Decidueye because I was like, okay, how do I replace Chestnut? It got sniped. I want something that's similar. I picked Hisui and Decidueye. I was like, no, that thing sucks. It probably doesn't. It's okay, but it's not as good as Brute Bonnet. So I picked this guy up, and I think it's going to be fantastic. And this Pokemon is Ben Buttoner. All right, I got 2 more points. I need another Spiker. Hopefully, Quagg's my only one. I saw this Pokemon, I'm like, it does a lot for 2 points. I got Carbink. It gives me Stealth Rocks. It gives me Spikes. It's not very passive because it has Body Press now, off of 150 defense. I think this Pokemon is going to be really good in some matchups. It could be a Hazard lead with Misty Explosion. It's a Meteor Beam user if I want to bring that. But this is going to be what I bring pretty much every week. Stealth Rock, Spikes, Body Press, filler move. If I want coverage, I think Moonblast is really bad on this Pokemon. It has 50 special attack, even to something that Moonblast is neutral into, like let's say a bug type or a flying type. That Body Press isn't hitting. It's not doing any damage. I think Body Press is still probably doing more. So this thing's just setting up hazards. That's all it's really doing. Will it ever come to any week? I don't know. As for cool moves, Rain Dance. My team like kind of has rain options. Sunny Day if I want to set up Sun for Brute Bonnet. Guard Split. Your defenses are already average, but I have that option, I guess. Charm is actually pretty cool. I could bring that for sure. Misty Terrain. Probably not. Psych Up could be cool. Probably not. Gravity. I didn't even realize this thing got gravity. I got another gravity user, folks. That's interesting because I'll definitely bring gravity 1 week just because I think I have so many moves that benefit from it. That'll be cool. Gravity's my Calm Mind, Draining Kiss. It doesn't get Draining Kiss. Earth Power, Moonblast, Meteor Beam. I don't know. I got my match for this week in 2 days, and I have not built a team. I have 3 matches, 3 draft games, so all 3 leagues that I'm in are I have that match within the next 2 days. I got a lot of team building to do. I got a lot of calculating to do. So you can expect week 1 for both the BHA and the RQA this league within the next couple days, probably 3 days. And then I have week 7 of PUDL as well. A lot of exciting games coming up. I want to do really good in this first match for this league in the RQA. The BHA again not taken too seriously, and the PUDL I've made it to playoffs already. So maybe I'll bring some more fun sets in that league. So expect quite a few videos coming within the next 3 days or so. This is my team. I almost forgot the nickname for Carbink. How could I forget? This is Crabcan. If you didn't figure it out by now, I'll just give it away. I'm doing anagrams for my nicknames. So I'm just taking the letters of the Pokemon's name and rewording it. Some funny ones. I like Got Smears the most, I think. Dick Seller and a Sour Man are also pretty cool. And a IQ search. So those are my nicknames. I don't plan on making any trades unless something plans out being really bad, like Keldeo, which I've heard people don't like. Or maybe Metagross can go. I don't know. But that's my team. There's going to be quite a few videos coming up in the next 3 days for week 1 of the BHA and RQA, and then the PUDL week 7 will also be up. Thanks for watching. I know I was babbling quite a bit, but see you later.